For years, President George W. Bush has refused to criticize his successor, Barack Obama, in public. This is what he told Sean Hannity 2 years ago.
I don't think it's good for the country to have a former president undermine a current president. I think it's bad for the presidency, for that matter.
You're probably right. But while in Peru this past week, President Obama indicated that he may not be willing to give his successor the same treatment. Listen to this.
If there are issues that have less to do with the specifics of some legislative proposal or battle, if I think that it's necessary or helpful for me to defend those ideals, then I'll examine it when it comes.
Here for reaction is Fox News contributor Mercedes Schalapp, a former spokesperson for President George W. Bush. Mercedes, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, so Obama's not going to go quietly, is he?
No, not at all. I think you're seeing a very different approach from President Obama. Clearly, he obviously sees his legacy being threatened, and he's made it very clear. He spoke to liberal groups on a call, basically saying that he's not going to be restrained, that when he will become a private citizen, he will be a vocal ex-president. And that, I have to tell you, Steve, is very different than what you saw with President Bush. President George Bush made a decision to focus on his foundation, focus on his library, as well as painting lots of oil paintings.
That's right. Mercedes, here's the thing. George W. Bush has done what a lot of presidents have done. I can't remember the last president who went out of office and then started bellyaching about the guy who now has the keys to Camp David.
Well, we've seen there's sort of these unwritten rules where the presidents don't engage in the political discussion when there's the next president there. But however, you have seen it it has happened in the past. Dwight Eisenhower went after John F. Kennedy's domestic policy. Actually, President Carter called the Bush administration the worst presidency in history. It does happen. This, I think, is a little bit different because it sounds to me that President Obama is going to become the ex-president community organizer, hoping to fill in that leadership vacuum right now that you're seeing in the Democratic Party.
And ultimately, if you're organizing in opposition to the sitting president, it is because you don't like that guy. That's not very unpresidential, is it?
Well, I think it's a little odd. I think it's one of those things where you would believe that President Obama becoming a private citizen would just have him stay focused, again, on his library, whether he's starting a foundation. But this is not in President Obama's nature. He likes to go out there and campaign. He likes to be vocal. And I think he sees the fact that Donald Trump is going to dismantle so many of his plans, so many of his what would he consider his accomplishments. And I think that he's just not going to stay quiet.
Well, we'll see. All right. Mercedes, thank you very much for getting up early on this Tuesday down in D.C.